Yeah,
Perfect.
I'm gonna
I'll
make a
give
I'm
you
gonna make a copy.
perfect. I'll give you a brief summary
Okay.
because we have read a few starting pages. Actually, it's a story, just like who moved my cheese.
Oh, I love that book.
But the story is a bit of a in a ancient times and not the like the modern ones. So the story
Okay.
is all about your personal gift, your your purpose of life, and how we can explore that, and how universe helps us realize our gift and even supports us
Hmm,
in living it. So the story
nice.
begins with a boy. He's a young boy. He lives
Mm-hmm.
in some small city in a
Mm-hmm.
European parts. Now, thing is, his family is a very poor family who does the normal jobs and they have a shop where they just go by their lives. But the boy,
Okay.
he loves to travel. He loves to explore the world. But the family says we are not the rich ones. We are not the ones from the city to travel along. We don't have that much money, in and nobody in our village travels. But he said, no, I want to travel. I can't live without that. It just, it's a calling within that I want to explore the world. So the father says, okay, fine. In these days, in that era, only shepherds travel because they have the sheep to go along. So only they have that luxury to travel. So
Okay.
he said, fine, I'll be a shepherd then. But the father said, do you even know what a shepherd does? He said, yeah, no problem. I'll just buy some sheep. I'll just, have them along, have a book. I'll read them the book. I'll feed them the food. And that's it. We'll travel.
Oh,
He
nice.
said, all right, if you made the decision, then who are we to stop you? So now the boy became the shepherd. His father bought him lots of sheep to travel along. And he said, fine, I'll learn on the way how to be a good shepherd. But just
Oh,
let me
perfect.
go
He's
from
gonna
here.
learn along the way. Nice.
He will learn on the way. So
Nice.
now he started to travel along the cities and kept learning
Excuse
on
me.
the way how to be a good shepherd. Now, the story continues here that he has already visited one city where he met a girl,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's going back again to that city to meet that girl again. So now
Okay.
now he is in the midway, and he has to travel 1 or 2 days more to reach the city where the girl lives. So now he's just resting in the midway and just relaxing, where he meets a man. Now what the how the talk goes with that man, from there we will continue.
Okay.
I hope you can see the book.
Hope I can too. I think I can.
Can you see the book?
I can see the book. Can I read the
Perf-
book? Question. Yes, I can. I can see the book to read it.
Perfect.
I'll make it a little
Let
bit
me.
larger. I found
I
it out.
just yeah, yeah, that I'll do. I'm just picking
Hmm.
up from the point where he met the man, so that you
Okay.
will be able to, you know, be in the good flow with us.
Excellent. I
Perfect.
like to be in the good flow, even though I woke up
Yes. No
late.
problem. You will be in a flow. That's not a problem.
You, Aditya, you saw the dinner I was having last night, right? The creme
Yes, I saw
brulee
the
and
dinner.
oh my gosh, that's fantastic. I was
Perfect. So let's
having
yeah. Hmm.
having dinner with the boss lady. I was having dinner with the
Great.
boss lady. Okay, so where do we start?
Let's start from this only. So the boy was disappointed.
It says I only interpret dreams. Oh, where the yellow is?
Yeah, you can begin from
Oh,
there.
oh, I see. Sorry. Excuse me. So the boy was disappointed. He decided that he would never again believe in dreams. He remembered that he had a number of things he had to take care of. He went to the market for something to eat. He traded his book for one that was thicker, and he found a bench in the plaza where he could sample the new wine he had bought. The day was hot, and the wine was refreshing. The sheep were at the gates of the city in a stable that belonged to a friend. The boy knew a lot of people in the city. That, excuse me, That was what made traveling appeal to him. He always made new friends, and he didn't need to spend all of his time. One moment. He always made new friends, and he didn't need to spend all of his time with them. When someone sees the same people every day, as had happened with him at the seminary, they wind up becoming a part of that person's life. And then, excuse me, and then they want the person to change. If someone isn't what others want them to be, the others become angry. Everyone seems to have a clear idea of how other people should lead their lives, but none about his or her own. Facts. I added that. He decided to wait until the sun had sunk a bit lower in the sky before following his flock back to the fields. 3 days from now, he would be with the merchant's daughter. Ooh la la. He started to read the book. I added that too. He had bought. On the very first page, it described a burial ceremony, and the names of the people involved were very difficult to pronounce. If he ever wrote a book, he thought he would present one person at a time, so that the reader wouldn't have to worry about memorizing a lot of the names. When he was finally able to concentrate on what he was reading, he liked the book better. The burial was on a snowy day, and he welcomed the feeling of being cold. As he read on, an old man sat down at his side and tried to strike up a conversation. What are they doing? The old man asked, pointing at the people in the plaza. Working, the boy answered dryly, making it look as if he wanted to concentrate on his reading. Actually, he was thinking about, the page went up too far. Oh, here we go. No, I got it. No. Actually, he was thinking about shearing his sheep in front of the merchant's daughter so that she could see that he was someone who was capable of doing difficult things. He had already imagined the scene many times. Every time the girl became fascinated when he explained that the sheep had to be sheared from back to front. Most of them he had read in books. But he would tell them as if they were from his personal experience. She would never know the difference because she didn't know how to read. Meanwhile, that's very clever. She's not going to know. Girl can't read. Bingo. Meanwhile, the old man persisted in his attempts to strike up a conversation. The old man is persistent. He said that he was tired and thirsty and asked if he might have a sip of the boy's wine. The boy offered his bottle, hoping that the old man would leave him alone. But the old man wanted to talk and asked the boy what book he was reading. The boy was tempted to be rude and moved to another bench, but his father had taught him to be respectful of the elderly, so he held out the book to the man for 2 reasons. First, that he himself wasn't sure how to pronounce the title, and second, that if the old man didn't know how to read, he would probably feel ashamed and decide of his own accord to change benches. Said the old man, looking at all sides of the book as if it were some strange object. This is an important book, but it's really irritating. The boy was shocked. The old man knew how to read and already read the book. And if the book was irritating, as the old man had said, the boy still had time to change it for another. It's a book that says the same thing almost all the other books in the world say, continued the old man. It describes people's inability to choose their own personal legends, and it ends up saying that everyone believes the world's greatest lie. What's the world's greatest lie? The boy asked, completely surprised. It's this, that at a certain point in our lives, we lose control of what's happening to us, and our lives become controlled by fate. That's the world's greatest lie. That's never happened to me, the boy said. They wanted me to be a priest, but I decided to become a shepherd. Much better, said the old man, because you really like to travel. I knew what I was thinking, the boy said to himself. The old man, meanwhile, was leafing through the book without seeming to want to return it at all. The boy noticed that the men's clothing was strange. He looked like an Arab, which was not unusual in those parts. Africa was only a few hours from Tarifa. One, one had only to cross the narrow straits by boat. Arabs often appeared in the city, shopping and chanting their strange prayers several times a day. Where are you from? The boy asked. From many places. No one can be from many places, the boy said. I'm a shepherd, and I have been to many places, but I come from only one place, from a city near an ancient castle. That's where I was born. Well, then, we could
Sorry,
say,
sorry.
hold on. Oot,
Sorry.
oot, oot. Well, oh, no worries. That's where I was born. Well, then, we could say that I was born in Salem. Stop it. That's where I was born.
Exactly. I was about to say that.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Here's to Salem. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's liquid collagen. um, wow, that just blows me away. Okay, well then we could say that I was born in Salem. Ironically, the boy who didn't know where Salem was, but he didn't want to ask, fearing that he would appear ignorant. He looked at the people in the plaza for a while. They were coming and going, and all of them seemed to be very busy. So, what is Salem like? He asked, trying to get some sort of clue. It's like it's always been. No clue yet, but he knew that Salem wasn't in
Andalusia.
Andalusia. No,
Andalusia. Yeah, we can because
Andalusia.
that's where the boy is born.
I see. Andalusia. If it were, he would have already heard of it. And what do you do in Salem? He insisted. What do I do in Salem? The old man laughed. Well, I'm the king of Salem. People say strange things, the boy thought. Sometimes it's better to be with the sheep who don't say anything, and better still to be alone with only one's books. They tell their incredible stories at the time when you want to hear them. But when you're talking to people, they say some things that are so strange that you don't know how to continue the conversation. Oh, this is going to be a fun word. My name is Melchizedek.
Yeah. I know that's a fun
Said the
name.
old man. Said the old man, much smoother than the current reader. How many sheep do you have? Enough, said the boy. He could see that the old man wanted to know more about his life. Well, then, we've got a problem. I can't help you if you feel you've got enough sheep. The boy was getting irritated. He wasn't asking for help. It was the old man who had asked for a drink of his wine and had started the conversation. Give me my book, the boy said. I have to go and gather my sheep and get going. Give me 1/10 of your sheep, said the old man, and I'll tell you how to find the hidden treasure. The boy remembered his dream, and suddenly everything was clear to him. The old woman hadn't charged him anything, but the old man, maybe he was her husband. He was going to find a way to get much more money um, in exchange for information about something that didn't even exist. The old man was probably a gypsy too. But before the boy could say anything, the old man leaned over, picked up a stick, and beat him on the head. No, and began to write in the sand of the plaza. Something bright reflected from his chest. Reflected from his chest with such intensity that the boy was momentarily blinded. With a movement that was too quick for someone his age, the man covered whatever it was with his cape. With his vision, hello, when his vision returned to normal, the boy was able to read what the old man had written in the sand. There in the sand of the plaza of that small city, the boy read the names of his father and his mother and the name of the seminary he had attended. He read the names of the merchant's daughter. Yeah, he read the name of the merchant's daughter, which he hadn't even known. And he read things he had never told anyone. I'm the king of Salem, the old man said. Why wouldn't a king Why would a king be talking with a shepherd? The boy asked, awed and embarrassed. For several reasons, but let's say that the most important is that you have succeeded in discovering your personal legend. The boy didn't know what a person's personal legend was. It's what you have always wanted to accomplish. Everyone, when they are young, knows what their personal legend is. At that point in their lives, everything is clear. Everything is possible. They are not afraid to dream and to yearn for everything they would like to see happen to them in their lives. But as time passes, a mysterious force begins to convince them all, convince them that it will be impossible for them to realize their personal legend. None of what the old man was saying made much sense to the boy, but he wanted to know what the mysterious force was. The merchant's daughter would be impressed when he told her about that. It's a force that appears to be negative. Hold on. This is the green is tricking my eyes. It's a force that appears to be negative, but actually shows you how to realize your personal legend. It prepares your spirit and your will, because there is one great truth on this planet. Whoever you are, or whatever it is that you do, when you really want something, it's because that desire originated in the soul of the universe. It's your mission on Earth. It's about time I've read this book, said Ray. Even when my mission on Earth finally will be revealed. Not
Her
just to be a
mission is
comedian,
to make laugh, is to
to,
spread
to
some
be,
laughter.
yeah, there's some laughter and merriment and happiness and creativity, but not all at the same time. But then other times maybe at the same time. Even when all you want to do is travel or marry the daughter of a textile merchant? Yes. Or even search for treasure. The soul of the world is nourished by people's happiness and also by unhappiness, envy, and jealousy. To realize one's personal legend is a person's only real obligation. All things are one. And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. They were both silent for a time, observing the plaza and the townspeople. It was the old man who spoke first. Why do you tend a flock of sheep? Because I like to travel. The old man pointed to a baker standing in his shop window at one corner of the plaza. When he was a child, that man wanted to travel too, but he decided first to buy his bakery and put some money aside. When he's an old man, he's going to spend a month in Africa. He never realized that people are capable at any time in their lives of doing what they dream of. He should have decided to become a shepherd, the boy said. Well, he thought about that, the old man said, but bakers are more important people than shepherds. Bakers have homes, while shepherds sleep out in the open. Parents would rather see their children marry bakers than shepherds. The boy felt a pang in his heart, thinking about the merchant's daughter. There was surely a baker in her town. Plot twist, must kill the baker. No, sorry. The old man continued.
This is not a murder mystery. We are not solving Baker's death.
Okay, fine, fine. I was just throwing it out there. It would be a plot twist. Come on, Aditya, it's a plot twist. The old man
Plot twist.
continued in the long plot twist. We say that a lot here in the States.
Knives out.
Well, right? The old man continued. In the long run, what people think about shepherds and bakers becomes more important for them than their own personal legends. The old man leafed through the book and fell to reading a page he came to. The boy waited and then interrupted the old man just as he himself had been interrupted. Why are you telling me all of this? Because you are trying to realize your personal legend, and you are at the point where you're about to give it all up. And that's when you always appear on the scene? Not always in this way, but I always appear in one form or another. Sometimes I appear in the form of a solution or a good idea. At other times, at a crucial moment, I make it easier for things to happen. There are other things I do too, but most of them people don't realize I've done them.
That's a very good line.
Yeah, I like it.
Let me highlight it. It's a cool line.
Yeah. There are other things I do too, but most of the time people don't realize I've done them. The old man,
Gratitude is important.
say what?
Nothing.
Okay,
Continue.
okay, sure. The old man related that the week before he had been forced to appear before a miner and had taken the form of a stone. The miner had abandoned everything to go mining for emeralds. For 5 years, he had been working a certain river and had examined hundreds of thousands of stones looking for an emerald. The miner was about to give it all up, right at the point when, if he were to examine just one more stone, just one more, he would find his emerald. Since the miner had sacrificed everything to his personal legend, the old man decided to become involved. He transformed himself into a stone that rolled up to the miner's foot. The miner, with all the anger and frustration of his 5 fruitless years, picked up the stone and threw it aside. But he had thrown it with such force that it broke the stone it fell upon, and then, embedded in the broken stone, was the most beautiful emerald in the world. People learn early in their lives what People learn early in their lives what is their reason for being, said the old man with a certain bitterness. Maybe that's why they give up on it so early, too. But that's the way it is. The boy reminded the old man that he had said something about hidden treasure. Oh, by the way, dude, remember we were talking about hidden treasure? Treasure is uncovered by the force of flowing water and is buried by the same currents, said the old man. If you want to learn about your own treasure, you will have to give me 1/10 of your flock. What about 1/10 of my treasure? The old man looked disappointed. If you start out by promising what you don't even have yet, you'll lose your desire to work towards getting it, little man. The boy told him that he had already promised to give 1/10 of his treasure to the gypsy. Gypsies are expert at getting people to do that, sighed the old man. In any case, it's good that you've learned that everything in life has its price. This is what the warriors of light try to teach. The old man returned the book to the boy. Tomorrow, at this same time, bring me 1/10 of your flock, and I will tell you how to find hidden treasure. Good afternoon. And he vanished around the corner of the plaza. I think I need my coffee.
Sure. Who will continue? Let's me. I'll continue. The boy
Thank
began
you.
again to read his book, but he was no longer able to concentrate. He was tense and upset because he knew that the old man was right. He went over to the bakery and bought a loaf of bread, thinking about whether or not he should tell the baker what the old man said about him. Sometimes it's better to leave things as they are, he thought to himself and decided to say nothing. If he were to say anything, the baker would spend 3 days thinking about giving it all up, even though he, ha- he had gotten used to the way things were. So he began to wander through the city and found himself at the gates. There was a small building there with a window at which people bought tickets to Africa, and he knew that Egypt was in Africa. Can I help you? Asked the man behind the window. Maybe tomorrow, said the boy, moving away. If he sold just one of his sheep, he would have enough to get to the other shore of the strait. The idea frightened him. Another dreamer, said the ticket seller to his assistant, watching the boy walk away. He doesn't have enough money to travel. While standing at the ticket window, the boy had remembered his flock and decided he should go back to being a shepherd. In 2 years, he had learned everything about shepherding. He knew how to shear sheep, how to care for pregnant ewes, eaves, and how to protect the sheep from the wolves. He knew all the fields and the pasture of Andalusia, and he knew what was the fair price for every one of his animals. He decided to return to his friend's stable by longest route possible. As he walked past the city's castle, he interrupted his return and climbed the stone ramp that led to the top of the wall. From there, he could see Africa in the distance. Someone had once told him that it was from there that the Moors had come to occupy all of the Spain. He could see almost the entire city where he sat, including the plaza where he had talked with the old man. Curse the moment I met the old man, he thought. He had come to town only to find a woman who could interpret his dream. N- Neither the woman nor the old man was at all impressed by the fact that he was a shepherd. They were solitary individuals who no longer believed in things and didn't understand that shepherd became attached to their sheep. He knew everything about each member of his flock. He knew which one were lame, which one were to give birth 2 months from now, and which were the laziest. He knew how to shear them and how to slaughter them. If he ever decided to leave them, they would suffer. The wind began to pick up. He knew that wind, people called it the Levanter, because on it the Moors had come from the Levant at the eastern end of the Mediterranean. The lavender increased in intensity. Here I am between my flock and my treasure, the boy thought. He had to choose between something he had become accustomed to and something he wanted to have. That's a beautiful line. I think that line is also somewhere linked to, to the last book we studied. He had to choose between something he had become accustomed to and something he wanted to have. They were, accustomed to the old cheese, but they wanted to have
Mm-hmm.
new cheese. So same with
Yeah.
him. He didn't
Yeah.
want to love
We
the
need,
he didn't want to leave the sheep, but he also wanted to travel.
right.
There was also the merchant's daughter, but she wasn't as important as his flock because the merchant's daughter, sorry, because she didn't depend upon him. Maybe she didn't even remember him. He was sure that it made no difference to her on which day he appeared for her. For her, every day was the same. And when each day is the same as the next, it's because people fail to recognize the good things that happen in their lives every day that the sun rises. I felt my father, my mother, and town castle behind. They have gotten used to my being away, and so have I. The sheep will get used to my not being there too, the boy thought. From where he sat, he could observe the plaza. People continued to come and go from baker's shop. A young couple sat on the bench where he had talked with the old man, and they kissed. That baker, he said to himself without completing the thought. The lavender was still getting stronger, and he felt its force on his face. The wind had brought the moors, yes, but it had also brought the smell of desert and of veiled women. It had brought with it the sweat and the dreams of men who had once left to search for the unknown and for the gold and the adventure and the pyramids. The boy felt jealous of the freedom of the wind and saw that he could have the same freedom. There was nothing to hold him back except himself. The sheep merchant's daughter, the fields of Andalusia were only the steps along the way to his personal legend. The next day, the boy met the old man at noon. He brought 6 sheep with him. I'm surprised, the boy said. My friend bought all the other sheep immediately. He said that he had always dreamed of being a shepherd and that it was a good omen. That's the way it always is, said the old man. It's called the principle of favorability. When you
Mm.
play cards the first time, you're almost sure to win beginner's luck. Exactly. And I love that law, the law of favorability. When we are starting to approach something we love, universe always gives us the beginner's luck to motivate us that yes, you should go on with it.
That's true. It's happened to
Because
me several times.
yes, it happens to every one of us, everyone.
It's amazing.
It is.
Can I share 2 seconds? Hold on just 2 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops, I took my glasses off. I was um I was with some friends, and I had never played marbles before, shoot the marbles and stuff. I never played. Oh, shoot, they're not over here. I had never played marbles, and so I thought, I'll play. Whatever. I don't know. This game looks kind of fun. Of course, I won all the marbles, the big fat ones, the big fat marbles, and the little ones. I was going to show you, but I forgot. I moved from upstairs to downstairs this last week, and now my room is a hot mess. But anyway, thank you for letting me share that.
No problem.
It was my
Let's
beginner's
continue.
luck. Thank you.
Because there is a force that wants you to realize your personal legend. It's where your appetite with a taste of success. Then the
Mm.
old man began to inspect the sheep, and he saw that one was lame. The boy explained that it wasn't important, since the sheep was the most intelligent of the flock and produced the most wool. Where is the treasure? He asked. It's in the Egypt, near the pyramids. The boy was startled. The old woman had said the same thing, but she hadn't charged him anything. In order to find the treasure, you will have to follow the omens. God has prepared a path for everyone to follow. You just have to read the omens He has left for you. God has prepared the path for everyone. You just have to follow the omens. Before the boy could reply, a butterfly appeared and fluttered between him and the old man. He remembered something his grandfather had once told him. Butterflies were a good omen. Like other animals, crickets, grasshoppers, lizards, the four-leaf clovers. I think the four-leaf clovers is actually a one even I have heard from my own mother. The four-leaf clovers, that they are lucky.
Yeah,
They are
they
the
are
good
lucky.
omens.
When I lived in my other house, I would find them in my backyard all the time and pick them. I mean, they just grew
Yes.
there, and I knew where they were, and so I would pick them. You have to look for
even
them,
in,
though.
see, even in my own city, my mother says that there is a bird and the name is dove. So
Ah,
if there are two doves on your balcony or when you see two doves, that means you're going to have a beautiful love life. I mean, like they just,
ooh,
like represent, they're like omens for a good love life. The two doves.
yeah,
So
yeah,
whenever they show up, my mother says, see, two doves.
nice. Well, and they mate for life. They're a pair, like the mourning doves. They're a
Oh
pair
yeah.
that they mate for life.
Yes, exactly. Like you know it.
I
Oh,
found
the
my marbles.
marbles. Let's continue. That's right, said the old man, able to read the boy's thoughts, just as your grandfather taught you. These are good omens. The old man opened his cape, and the boy was struck by what he saw. The old man wore a breastplate of heavy gold, covered with precious stones. The boy recalled the brilliance he had noticed on the previous day. He really was a king. He must be disguised to avoid encounters with thieves. Take these, said the old man, holding out a white stone and a black stone that had been embedded at the center of the breastplate. They are called Urim and Thummim, Urim and Thummim. Let's just say that. The
That's
black,
tricky.
the black signifies yes, and the white, no. Okay. When you are unable to read the omens, they will help you to do so. Always ask an objective question. But if you can, try to make your own decisions. The treasure is at the pyramids. That you already know. But I had to insist on the payment of 6 sheep because I helped you to make your decision. The boy put the stones in his pouch. From then on, he would make his own decisions. See, that's so beautiful that he asked for payment, because that just reflects that if you're gaining something, you must also invest it. Only then you can think of it as an investment.
Right. And also there has to be value in it.
Exactly. That's why he charged him,
But,
because he knew, the king
right.
knew that he was going to give him genuine value and he should
Yeah.
pay for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't forget that everything you deal with is the only one thing and nothing else. And don't forget the language of omens. Above all, don't forget to follow your personal legend through to its conclusion. But before I go, I want to tell you a little story. A certain shopkeeper sent his son to learn about the secret of happiness from the wisest man in the world. The lad wandered through the desert for 40 days and finally came upon a beautiful castle high atop a mountain. It was there the wise man lived. Rather than finding a saintly man, though, our hero, on entering the main room of the castle, saw a hive of activity. Tradesmen came and went, people were conversing in the corners, a small orchestra was playing soft music, and there was a table covered with the platter of the most delicious food in the part of the world. The wise
Mm.
man conversed with everyone, and the boy had to wait for 2 hours before it was his turn to be given the man's attention. The wise man listened attentively to the boy's explanation of why he had come, but told him that he didn't have time just then to explain the secret of happiness. He suggested that the boy look around the place and return in 2 hours. Meanwhile, I want to ask you to do something, said the wise man. Handed the boy a teaspoon that held 2 drops of oil. As he wandered around, carry the spoon without allowing the oil to spill. I have heard this story even many places as well. It's a good one.
Mm.
The boy began climbing and descending the many stairways of the palace, keeping his eyes fixed upon the spoon. After 2 hours, he returned to the room where the wise man was. Well, asked the wise man, did you see the Persian tapestries that are hanging in my dining hall? Did you see the garden that it took to master the gardener 10 years to create? Did you notice the beautiful parchments in my library? The boy was embarrassed and confessed that he had observed nothing. His only concern had been not to spill the oil that the wise man had entrusted to him. Then go back and observe the marvels of my world, said the wise man. You cannot trust a man if you don't know his house.
Mm.
Relieved, the boy picked up the spoon and returned to his exploration of the palace. This time, observing all the work of an art on the ceilings and the walls. He saw the gardens, the mountains all around him, the beauty of the flowers, and the taste with which everything had been selected. Upon returning to the wise man, he related in detail everything he had seen. But there are drops of oil I entrusted to you, asked the wise man. Looking down the spoon he had held, the boy saw that the oil was gone. Well, there is only one piece of advice I can give you, said the wisest of the wise men. The secret of happiness is to see all the marvels of the world and never to forget the drops of oil on the spoon. The shepherd said nothing. He had understood the story the old king told him. A shepherd may like to travel, but he should never forget about his sheep. The old man looked at the boy and, with his hand held together, made several strange gestures over the boy's head. Then, taking his sheep, he walked away. What's the time? So let's just pause the story for.
8:55.
Yep. So let's just pause the story for here, and we'll continue on the next class as well. Right? So to
That
begin with
sounds
the
good.
lessons, let's begin with you, Ray. One
Uh,
lesson, one philosophy that touched your heart.
oh, I like the one that links back to our previous book, where you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to think outside the box. You have to, be
Yes.
brave enough to trust that,
At
you know,
basically, you have to let go of something you are accustomed to experience something you
yeah,
want.
that's
Attachment
true.
basically has to be given up.
Yeah. So something has to be given up to make space for something new. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. 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 I
Exactly.
try to do that with I try to do that with clothing, but it doesn't always work. If I buy something new, I try to get rid of something that I don't wear so much or that's gone out of style. Sometimes it works.
Nah, this rule might not apply to your wardrobe.
Yeah, it does. It does. It
See, when
does.
it comes to clothes now, the rule is instead of complaining that I have no clothes, but your wardrobe is still full, first you make space by giving up the old clothes which you don't want to wear anymore, which are like torn off, and you then you will automatically attract the sources to buy the new ones. Like like basically what it's called is the law of vacuum.
I like it.
The law of vacuum means
However,
Mhm.
hmm?
Go on.
I I have a question for you. So what if you give up the clothes that you don't wear so much anymore, but then you don't have time to go buy new clothes because you're super busy and then you have no clothes to wear? I think first you should go purchase some new clothes, keep the old clothes in the closet. When you get the new clothes in the house, then you can get rid of the ones that you've set aside for
Perfect.
donation. Otherwise you'd be
Perfect.
otherwise you'd be naked. You'd be naked. Nobody can go to
Yeah.
work naked.
Yeah, we don't want that actually. Actually, the law of
Yeah.
vacuum means the law of vacuum, what it really means is that if you will keep seeing the old things, you will not be inspired, you will not be motivated to work for your new goals. Simple.
I
It's
see that.
like if
I
I
see
keep
that.
focusing on my old job I'm already working, so I won't have the courage, the inspiration to start my own business. So I have to quit my job first so that I can get myself up and start the business. But that also won't mean that you don't have any money and you begin your business. So you have to, balance both the things.
Right. Right. That would probably put a fire under your butt though to, be a catalyst. If you quit your
Exactly.
job and you have less money, that would be like, oh wow, I need to, step it up and really, follow my plan, my passion, my what are we calling it? My legend,
The personal
my
legend.
purpose, personal legend. I have to really get on it.
Yes. Karina, what's the lesson you learned? Wait a second, let me off the book, please. Perfect. Karina,
Well, actually, what I really liked about this part now is when he met that old wise man, because
yeah.
he knew everything or many things about the boy, and it reminded me of a soul to soul connection between teacher and disciple. That's what I really liked about that.
Hmm.
True.
That's brilliant.
Actually, the spoon story meant while you are enjoying the external happiness of the world, don't forget your values, the one you are holding on to. I mean, that spoon is just reflects your values, your own philosophies that you must protect, and you must not get lost between the outer luxury of the world.
That makes sense.
Yep.
And I would also like to add something maybe a little more simple but deep at the same time. Don't just, I mean, he's focused on the spoon and the oil. Maybe take a moment and stop walking and look up and look around and enjoy the view, enjoy what you're experiencing, the tapestries and the palace and all of that. And then focus back to your spoon and walk a few more steps. They
That
say stop
means
and smell the
you can
roses. Stop
enjoy.
and smell the roses. Yeah,
Yes. That means you
yeah,
can enjoy, but you don't have to give up values. And you can hold on to your values while you are enjoying. Basically, you can balance both.
yeah. I like it.
Exactly. Simple. Like, listen to a song, but make sure that the song is not negative or abusive or like that.
Yeah.
Simple. Shruti,
Simple.
1 point, please.
Shruti, I didn't know you were here.
Shruti, 1 point, 1 point. Anyway, we are done with 4 points. And speak up. On your mic, it's okay. We'll ignore the background noises. It's okay, it's okay. I know you have some background noises, no problem. Just speak up the point and you can mute again. No problem. See, we can't hear anything else except you.
Exactly.
And now we can't hear you also. We can't hear you. Is your audio off? Audio join?
Mine?
No. Shruti.
You're talking to Shruti. Okay.
Never mind. It's okay. You can be off. We can't hear you anyway. We will check headphones later. Type the
She
point.
can go first next time. She can go first next time. I volunteer her. She's fine with that. She's fine with that.
Ray will tell your point. You just type on the, just say in the chat.
Say what?
Ray will explain her point, Shruti's point, and Shruti will type in the chat. Yeah, correct.
What?
Wait. I'm saying Shruti will say in the chat and Ray will pick from the
Yes.
chat and explain to us.
Okay.
See? Because she
I
said
have
no,
no
she
idea
wants to
what you're talking
volunteer.
about. Oh, got it. She's typing in the chat. It says you are chatting as a guest. Messages sent here are also posted in a meeting group that chat in team chat. This means guests like you can post and see messages only during the meeting. All
You
others
can
can see
ignore that.
and share all posts, even if they aren't present in the meeting.
You
Meeting
can
group
ignore
chat.
that.
No, I just read it. Therefore, we can't ignore it because it's already been said. This is my announcer speaker voice. There's nothing in the chat currently typed by Shruti. Wait a minute. Now there is. God is okay. Sarah set up. God is preparing everything.
I told you, Karina, she's a laughter ambassador of the group.
Okay, focus, Ray. Focus. Okay, God is preparing everything to let you follow your path. Yes, that's fantastic. And the universe, like, steps up. God and the universe. And Shruti says, just have to trust in you, on your intuitions. You just have to trust in yourself and your intuitions, because your intuitions are actually nudges from God and the universe, I believe.
True. And you know what? To develop that trust, I believe you should practice it every day.
Oh, I like
Practice,
that.
like the book said, na, see the omens around you. I mean, you should see sometimes, and the paragraph said, sometimes I give a solution, I ease the things, I give an idea, or I do something people don't even notice. So
Yeah.
we should observe every day something that's happening around us. We may have taken for granted, but we forgot to be grateful for it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I like that.
we take things for granted, we should not. And that's where we just ignore that this was actually something we didn't ask for, but we still received.
Yeah.
That's like an
Yeah,
omen,
exactly.
or like an intuition, or like an idea or a solution.
Yeah. And it's a godsend.
It's a godsend.
Yeah. Some people in the States now call it a God wink. Like when you get a God wink, like God winks to you.
Some call it God's grace.
God's grace. Yeah.
God's grace. I've heard this a lot.
Yeah.
God's grace is very common.
Yeah. It's better than a stick to the head, like the old man was going to do to the kid that I added. It's much better than that.
She
Way
actually, you know
better.
what? You should become an author. You will write a great mystery book.
I think I should. I started one time, but I didn't finish it. I was in a writing class, but I still have the idea.
You know what, Karina? She has a poem book from her grandfather, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that. And her
Yeah,
grandfather
I have
was a
three.
poet. Was a poet. He wrote a book with so many poems, and I promised her that
Yeah.
we will soon start the book in the group. There's the book. Living, laughing, and
Living.
laugh. Living, loving, and laughing. True
Oh,
life.
wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's
It's
my grandfather.
great.
Sorry, it's backwards. It's backwards. Here we go. The words. And also he wrote this one, Muskeg Meditations on Alaska, because he lived in Alaska.
Wow.
And then he wrote this one, Taming the Arctic Shrew.
Shrew. See, shrew. Okay, shrew, not shrew. Shrew.
Shrew. It's a shrew. It's a shrew. Right there, right there, right there. It's a shrew, which is like a little mouse.
You have so many books to read.
They're not long. Look, look. There's more. There's more. There's more pictures than there are words. So
We
much.
we all love pictures.
Thank
Who
you for
doesn't love
mentioning my
pictures?
grandfather. I know, right? It helps to tell the story.
Yes, absolutely. So, just to wind up all the points, the first point was by Ray. Perception, right?
Yes.
Perception. Yes. The first point was that we need to get out of our comfort zones.
Yeah.
We need to give up something we are accustomed to experience something that's new to us.
Yes.
That was the first point. The second point was that was not in the book, but we still discussed it, the law of vacuum. Sometimes to create the inspiration, to be motivated, we have to let go of something we already have. Sometimes, like in case of clothes, if you're too scared, if you're too, if you're too worried to buy new clothes, then you can donate your old clothes, and that will naturally inspire you to buy new clothes. Point number
Yeah.
three from her, Karina, was focus, right? Focus.
And no, it was soul to soul
No.
connection of teacher and disciple.
Yeah.
Which one? Sorry, I forgot.
It
I'm
was the
sorry.
soul to
Okay.
soul connection of teacher and disciple.
Oh yeah, the story one.
Mhm.
Correct.
Yeah.
The story one. The wise man and the boy.
Yeah.
Their
I like
bond,
that.
their relationship, where he taught
Yeah.
him how to focus on the values while he was just enjoying the world class, his luxury and everything else.
Yeah.
And then the last came from Shruti, God's power, intuition,
Yeah.
omens,
Yeah. Yeah. Omens,
omens,
intuition. I like it.
intuition. If you are
Yeah.
listening to your intuitions, focusing on small, small omens every day, the faith, the belief automatically starts to build up like a muscle. So if we can do till till the next meetup, we all four can write down every day at least 2 to 3 omens or something we observe around us that we might have taken for granted, or we skipped to be grateful for, or we skipped to observe that this was not something we wanted, or we focused on, but we still received it.
I
Something
like it.
not in our own imaginations, but still it is with us. So
Yeah.
let's just
I like it.
practice this till the next meet.
Yeah.
We will write on every day at least 2 to 3 things, and then we will discuss. All right.
Yeah. I have one more thing. Can I say one more thing?